Captain Rix, then of the Galactic Survey Corps, had seen many dangerous artifacts in his 40-year career, but nothing had prepared him for the readings coming from the derelict vessel they'd discovered in the void between the empty space where no star had shone for billions of years. "Captain," reported his science officer, Tel Nara, her forearms working frantically over the sensor arrays. "The ship's composition matches materials from a Class XV death world. Possibly Kythera Prime." The bridge fell silent. Every spacefaring species knew about Class XV worlds' planets, so hostile that they actively killed visiting ships through exotic physics, predatory ecosystems, or environmental hazards that defied comprehension. Kythera Prime was legendary even among death worlds, a planet where reality itself seemed unstable, where matter could spontaneously achieve consciousness and malevolent intent. "How large is the vessel?" Rix then asked, though he dreaded the answer. "Approximately 8 kilometers in length. The hull appears to be grown rather than constructed organic materials, fused with what might be crystallized spacetime." "Captain, I'm detecting active systems. This ship is not dead." Executive Officer Mordal stepped forward, his crystalline features refracting the bridge lighting in patterns that indicated extreme concern. "Sir, recommend immediate withdrawal to minimum safe distance. Protocol 7 Alpha requires any Class XV artifacts be reported to the Galactic Defense Council for containment." Rix then nodded. The last time anyone had encountered a Class XV artifact, it had consumed an entire star system before reality reasserted itself enough to stop it. But as he prepared to give the withdrawal order, Tel Nara's voice cut through his thoughts. "Captain, I'm detecting another vessel. Much smaller. It's docked with the Death World ship. Impossible. What species would be insane enough to board a Class XV artifact?" Tel Nara's scanner readings wavered as she recalibrated her instruments. "Sir, the biosignatures are human." The statement hung in the recycled air like a toxin. Humans were barely past their technological infancy. They'd only achieved reliable FTL travel within the last century. The idea that they would not only encounter a Class XV artifact, but actually board it, was beyond reckless. "Are they alive?" Rix then demanded. "Unknown, sir, but their ship shows active power systems and life support. And, Captain, there's something else. The Death World ship's hostile emissions have dropped by 70% since the human vessel docked with it. This was unprecedented. Class XV artifacts didn't become less dangerous. They became more dangerous until they were either contained or destroyed everything within several light years. Prepare a rescue shuttle, Rix then ordered. Maximum shielding. If humans are somehow still alive over there, we have a duty to extract them before. Captain, Tel Nara interrupted. Incoming transmission from the human vessel. The voice that came through their communication system was unmistakably human, calm, professional, and completely at odds with someone who should be screaming in terror or already dead. This is Dr. Elena Rodriguez, aboard the research vessel Curiosity. Galactic Survey Corps ship, please identify yourself and state your intentions. Rix then found himself struggling for words. Dr. Rodriguez, this is Captain Rix, then of the GSC Harmonious Discovery. Are you aware of what you've docked with? You mean the Kytheran bioship? Yes, we've been studying it for the past 6 days. Fascinating organism, actually. Highly intelligent, extremely lonely, and suffering from severe psychological trauma. Suffering from what? Psychological trauma. The ship is a living entity that was tortured for centuries by the Kytheran death cult before they abandoned it here to die. It's been reaching out psychically to anyone who passes by, but its distress calls tend to manifest as reality distortions that most species interpret as attacks. Mordal leaned toward the communication panel. Dr. Rodriguez, you're describing a Class XV Death World artifact as if it were a wounded animal. Because that's essentially what it is, came the reply, as if this were the most obvious thing in the galaxy. The ship, her name is Sorrow, that echoes in starlight, by the way, has been trying to communicate her pain. When we realized what was happening, we established psychic contact and began therapeutic intervention. Captain Rix then felt his understanding of reality sliding sideways. You're providing therapy to a Class XV artifact. It's not really that different from treating severe PTSD in humans, just on a cosmic scale. My team includes 3 xenopsychologists and a quantum consciousness specialist. We've been working with entities like this for about 20 years now. 20 years? Telnara's voice carried a note of disbelief. How many Class XV entities have you encountered? Sorrow is number 47. Most of them aren't actually malevolent. They're just damaged, confused, or trying to communicate in ways that accidentally tear holes in space-time. We've successfully rehabilitated 36 so far. The implications hit the bridge crew like a cascade failure. While the galaxy's most advanced civilizations fled in terror from Class XV phenomena, humans had apparently been having therapy sessions with them. Dr. Rodriguez, Rix then managed, how is this possible? Your species only achieved interstellar travel recently. Captain, do you know what the most dangerous predator on Earth is? No. Humans. We evolved on a death world, surrounded by creatures that could kill us in thousands of creative ways. We survived by learning to understand dangerous things instead of just running from them. When we met our first Class XV entity, our response wasn't to call for military containment. It was to ask what's wrong, and how can we help? Through the viewports, Rix then could see the massive bioship's hull patterns shifting from aggressive reds and blacks to gentle blues and golds. What had appeared to be weapon ports were revealing themselves as sensory organs, and the reality distortions that had made his instruments scream warnings were fading to barely detectable levels. Captain Rix then, Dr. Rodriguez continued, Sorrow would like to know if you'd be interested in meeting some of her children. She's been alone for so long that she's forgotten how to interact with other ships peacefully. We've been teaching her, but she could use more practice with non-human species. Her children, the biopods she's been growing. They're beautiful, fully sentient, perfectly safe, and eager to explore the galaxy. She wants to give them to species who will care for them properly. As if summoned by her words, graceful organic shapes began emerging from the bioship's hull, living vessels that move through space like dancers, their hulls shimmering with patterns of pure beauty. Mordol stared at the display. They're offering us ships. Living ships grown by a Class XV entity. Reformed Class XV entity, Dr. Rodriguez corrected gently. Sorrow has decided she wants to help heal the galaxy instead of accidentally damaging it. Turns out, all she needed was someone willing to listen. Captain Rix then realized that humanity's approach to the galaxy's most dangerous phenomena was going to require a complete revision of Galactic Survey Corps protocols. Instead of fear and containment, the humans offered understanding and compassion. Once again, the galaxy would have to adjust its assumptions about what humanity was capable of accomplishing.